The premise we speak about is we are what we're looking for. The seeker is the sought. So if the seeker is already the sought, then anything that's going on in the seeker's world is going to be the spiritual path. Yes? Instead of a spiritual path leading to somewhere, that somewhere expresses itself, and you could call it a spiritual path. Now, it's not any formatted path, or it could be. You could be involved in a monastic situation or whatever, but basically whatever condition or situation you're in is now the spiritual path. Yeah, but it's not a path to arrive, but it's an expression of where you already are. Yeah, and that's why you start getting so much stuff by not looking for it. Yeah, you get great teachings, at Whole Foods. Yeah. Yeah. Are there great teachings in Whole Foods? Probably not, but you'll get a great teaching at Whole Foods. Yeah. That's the beauty, isn't it? That basically the getting done and the getting undone is going on, and it's not bringing you to the light. You are the light expressing it that way. Yeah. So so that 5 minutes of sitting in the presence 3 times a day turns into 24 hours doing almost anything that's ever been possible, being in the presence. Yeah. The presence doesn't get quantified by the seeming absence. The presence makes whatever's going on as the present. Yes? Yeah. Wouldn't that be the greatest spiritual path? Yeah. A path that you don't arrive at a spiritual condition. The spiritual condition uses the path to express itself. Hallelujah. Yeah. Wouldn't the feeling, if you were going one way on the path, would be different than going the other way? Yeah. Going the one way of expression, you're already in the condition of relying on something. There's no you relying, but there's a relying on something that's reliable. That's why the path that you're expressing can look any way it wants. The other one is you're on a path because you've been relying on something that's unreliable, and you're trying to get out of that by trying to get into something. Yes. So we call it a spiritual path, where we want to arrive at something as long as it's not where we are right now, basically. Obviously, if there's movement away, there mustn't be an acceptance of the situation you're in. Yeah. So here's one movement going down the spiritual path with the hopes of arriving somewhere. And then the other movement is whatever's going on is the spiritual path. And the path isn't a journey to arrive, but the expression of that you've never left. Yeah. And so you get like ahas all day. They don't have to be manufactured by a very savvy type of thing of how to induce a cathartic event or something like that. You may have a cathartic event, watching the end of a dog video on YouTube. Yeah. You may cry the tears of 1,000 people watching what happened to the poor dog. Yeah. Yeah. So if you were going down a path to arrive somewhere, there would be an intention, right? And also a direction that wouldn't brook anything that would maybe distract your attention. You want to get single-minded, right? You want to be mindful. You want to be focused. Yet if you are that which you're looking for, and now the day turns into an expression, a path of expression, then basically it's pretty loosey-goosey, so to speak. It's disarmed, because you are already that which you've been looking for before. So now the path may not be that long that day, and it may not be straight, and it may not be laser focused. It may be more of a relaxed awareness, where anything that you run into may stop you on the path, not as an obstruction or an obstacle, but as an incredible moment, to relish. Yes, it would be completely different. One way the path is like you want to get that laser beam focused. I have no time to fuck around with all this shit. I have got to devote all my time in this pursuit of arriving somewhere that's not going to look like where I think I am now, at least. The other path is here. You're in space and time. You got to do something. So now, as the Course would say, you're dreaming yourself out of the dream. And as you do, the dream gets happier. Not bad. One path is not leading anywhere. It's more of like a dance floor, and you're just dancing this way or that. And inexorably, the invulnerability is not going to be attacked by attack thoughts and all this shit they say in the Course. Or, I need do nothing isn't like an order or a hopeful, imagining. It's an observation of being that which is the spirit of the path. Yes. I need do nothing. What spiritual paths have you run into that proclaim I need do nothing? Maybe they have a half hour of rest in the 12-hour program for the day, 20 minutes maybe. Just don't do anything for 20 minutes, but gather up your forces, because there's got to be a lot of concentration and a lot of this, a lot of that. No, this is basically, you're out to lunch, you don't get called back to work. You're roaming around, doing whatever has, your situation is. Like the seat assignment. You're able to fulfill the seat assignment because you're in the seat. You're not in a seat denying it by dreaming of another seat assignment. You're in the seat. There's a recognition of that's where you are, and there you go. All the while being present and available, not because you worked really hard or did something to produce that effect, but that's the natural condition. You're not in the act of becoming awake. You're in the act of a lot of shit being awake. You're in you may be in the act of believing you're not awake while awake. I mean, that's how it looks to me. So here I am. This seems to be like a Wednesday. Now, yesterday was a Tuesday. And Tuesday, I have 2 talks that I show up to. And tonight, I have tonight. All right. That seems to be different than last night. So there's been a path. But basically, the message is exactly the same. The first step I took on this path as the 800th step I took on this path. It's the same message. It hasn't changed as I expressed it in this path. Everything on the path has changed, but the message hasn't changed. Yes? I don't get, all right, it's time for the advanced message. There's no advanced message. Or and I understand them, they say, well, maybe this is too advanced for people. Well, if you see them as people, you may see it as too advanced. If you don't see them as people, I would think the advanced would actually reveal to them that they can reach farther than they thought. That's my sense. So here we are on the spiritual path. And part of this one we're sharing is a satsang. Yeah. It's almost like on this path, there's a lot of lunches, coffee breaks, satsangs, you get together and you do nothing really. What are you doing? You're not even probably wearing pants or shoes right now, most of us. Yeah. You're relaxed, and yet the path is working. Yeah. I've watched a lot of people's faces change in these years. I didn't see, like a workout room behind, no dumbbells or barbells, no fucking, hyperventilating or nothing. They all seem to be somewhat chilled. And yet a lot of things have changed just by coming here. Yeah. Doesn't that imply something? That, that which doesn't demonstrate any thought or effort, I don't believe can be reached through thought and effort. I just don't. I think thought and effort is an idea that we come up with. I don't think it's been an order from above. Yeah. I just don't. I feel like there's enough fucking movement, isn't there? There's enough shit to deal with. Concerning our own nature, that should be the easiest topic of all. And I humbly believe that if you get clear about this, it's going to lend a clarity to a lot of other stuff. Yes. And a lot of these insane freaking ideas that we've been moved by won't move you anymore. Like, you can be out of a moment. So what you need to do is get into the moment. Yeah. Yeah. That will just seem to be completely absurd. It will. And it will never change. It hasn't changed in my life ever since it dawned, It hasn't been, it never undawned. It hasn't. It just seems incredulous that I could have believed, or something believed, that it could be out of something. Such as a moment. Yeah. Considering it's the whole basis of the moment. So, and whatever works, go ahead. If you feel like you got to lift weights, spiritual weights, lift spiritual weights until the point lifting the spiritual weights tells you don't have to lift spiritual weights. Yeah. If that's the way you got to go, that's fine. The infinite is going to outlast the finite. So all of your plans and designs are going to sort of end, and there it is. It'll still be available right where you are with no requirement necessary. Yeah. The requirements drop on our side. They don't drop on, there's no requirements on the other side. If there isn't an other side, but for the imagery. Yeah. So once you get tired of holding up these requirements and they drop, that which is always available will suddenly appear to be always available to you. Now, if you think you has to be available to that, then maybe it's not going to seem to be available. But when you get over that misdirection, and then you see, no matter what your head says, you're available. Yeah. So when it brings out its ruler and it says you're 6 inches away from availability, you got to da-da-da, you just, okay, I see it. And then, but why you see it is you're available. Yeah. And this idea, awareness, as we were talking with Esther the other day, doesn't get anxious, Awareness doesn't come and go. Awareness doesn't become less aware if the body's physically sick. Yeah. Your attention and interest may be on the physical sickness more, but the awareness hasn't lost any awareness. Yeah. It's just like the space. If you took all of us out of the space, it would probably weigh the same. Yeah. Yes, because we're all appearances. There's no reality to us. That's why it's called dreaming. Yeah. Dreaming, when someone says it's a real dream, it seems funny because we all tend to believe or have a definition that dreaming is unreal. Yeah. That's why we call it dreaming. So this dreaming is unreal. It appears to be real. Yeah. But it's not, and it's reality appearing to be real. But that appearance is not reality. Yeah. It's reality appearing to be real, but the appearance itself is not reality. It's empty. We give it all the meaning it has, which is that it's real. Yeah. And you can see that some things in your life were so real and now they're not. What happened? Yeah. They were incredibly real. You would have sworn that they were never going to change. Nothing could ever move it. Nothing could ever do anything with it. And then suddenly it just drops away. Yeah. And now that which seems so real is seen as not real. Yeah. What was it to begin with? I bet you it's appearing not real will last a whole lot longer than it's appearing to be real. Yeah. Because it's never been real. So its appearing to be real could only be a short amount of time. Its appearance as not reality is the state that it's in. It's the state of dreaming. Yes? Yeah. So join me on the spiritual path of being out of the moment. That's what we're going for from now on. That moment that you want to get in, I'd love you to be out of it, because all it is going to be one of those revolving doors. You're going to get in and out and in and out and in and out, and you'll be out more than in, usually. Your head will definitely tell you you're out more than in. Yeah. So let's just say, fuck it. Yeah. Now, what would happen if you're out of the moment as the in? Yeah. Yeah. You're out of the moment as the in. That's the moment, yes? But as what you're not, being in the moment is not being in the moment. Is it? No. But us, as what we are, being out of the moment is the moment. So I'm swearing off wanting to be in the moment, and I'm going in a new direction. I'm constantly out of the moment while being in the moment. Yeah. Hallelujah. So let that which we're not be out of the moment, far out. Stop acting as if it's you and then having to want to get into the moment. It's not you. Let it stay out of the moment. You're going to do a whole lot better if you recognize that which wants to get into the moment is out of the moment. Yeah. Guess what? You're going to feel like you're in the moment with no thought or effort on your part. You're going to feel like you've never been out of the moment. Why do you want to make it feel like it's in the moment? Let it feel like it's fucking out of the moment. It's not you. Yeah. What do you want it there anyway? Send it around the corner for a half an hour. Great. Out. All right. I know you completely believe you're out of the moment. Thank God. I'm really enjoying being in the moment. As the moment I am. I really don't miss it at all. Let it stay out of the moment. Yeah. Fantastic. Because when it thinks it's in the moment, isn't it funny that there's a belief it's us, and yet it seems so hard to get us into the moment? And it doesn't seem to really ever stay, does it? Even though you've gone to 30 retreats, it still has a much stronger habit to seemingly be out of the moment than it ever has of being in the moment. When does that being in the moment become the thoughtless, effortless condition? The out of the moment seems like the thoughtless, effortless condition. Yes? Because that's what it is. It's out of the moment. Yeah. So let it stay there. Why do you keep dictating your condition based on its condition? When the head says you're out of the moment, hallelujah. Yeah. Because I don't want that which is out of the moment to come into the moment. I don't. I want to be super clear it's out of the moment at all times. Yeah. Because when it comes in, it's like someone getting, when you're on the plane and there's 3 seats and you're only the only person in the 3 seats. And you're just hoping that no one comes to sit next to you. Yeah. And you're waiting for them to go. The one moment you're secure that you're going to have these 3 seats is when they close the door. Yeah. Usually they close the door. And so when someone comes that you hope was going to be out of the aisle, comes into the aisle, you're not happy when it sits in the aisle, are you? Let it stay out. The whole point. You have never been out of any moment. So that which believes it's out of the moment, let it stay out. Why do you want to waste any more money going on a retreat to learn how to be in the moment for that which believes it's out of the moment? Why? Yeah. So there you go. I'm going to have if I have any ambition, we're going to have a retreat of staying out of the moment. We're going to stay out of the min. We do not want to be in the moment. Yeah. 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 And then you'll enjoy yourself from now on, honey. You will. Yeah. That which believes it's out of the moment has never been in the moment. It's manufactured in time. Yes. It's in a world of yesterday and tomorrow, where there's only every out is matched with an in. Every up is matched with a down. This is duality. You're not of that. Yeah. So recognize its foreignness when it proclaims you're out of the moment. Recognize it. Yeah. Because you're seeing it from in the moment. You're seeing it from in the moment. Yeah. So, all right. Anyone? Mike?
Anybody want to raise their hands? I do like that kind of shtick of hoping something's going to work out, and then like having an open seat next to you, and then okay, well, somebody's sitting down next to you. Something's going to be good about that. Oh yeah, it's this person I wanted to meet, and then it goes back the other way. Oh no, that wasn't the person. And then but this person's better, and then it can only go so far. But it's nice to have it be funny now instead of trying to avoid it, right? Like I shouldn't have expectations. I shouldn't.
I know.
Esther has her hand up. Esther.
Esther.
Oh, this
Yes.
has been an amazing day.
Fantastic.
I got the message today that because I felt like I was out of the moment, and I was looking at that and I said, okay, let me be out of the moment. And it kept happening that I felt like I was out of the moment. So I did a little meditation, qigong stuff, and talked to Alan, but there's a but.
Esther, let me just jump in a second. All right.
Yeah.
Your belief that you could be out of the moment is weakening as we speak.
Yes.
So before it would take half hour of qigong, now it's 4 minutes of qigong. Yeah.
Yes.
It takes a lot less time because you're in the vicinity always of in the moment. You don't go far anymore. The head can't pull it off. So usually it takes like 2 breaths or 1 breath. It's not like I've got to go on a 5-hour retreat. It's yes, yeah. You're not buying. It's little speedometer. You're not believing the miles anymore. I just want to point it out to all of us. Yeah.
What happens is I get this medicine injected into me, and the next couple of days, or possibly whenever, but there are at least 2 or 3 days where the experiencing is very intense. And that's happening tomorrow that I get the injection. I know it's tomorrow. I'm I'm not, oh, I'm seeing that train of thought and seeing that's what I'm not. And it's like a muscle a little bit. But
It'll weaken.
the trepidation of having to experience all that like, over again because of this medicine, I just don't want to do it. And I don't feel like I have a choice.
And well, and you're not that which doesn't want to do it.
Okay.
And in a way, you don't have a choice. So buckle up and you'll see that you can face it successfully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Seriously.
Yes.
I would have loved to have the way you said, I get medicine injected. I wish I would have, the cops weren't buying that when I told them after they arrested me shooting cocaine. Yes, I just injected my medicine. That's funny. Yeah, honey. You know, a lot of times you're in a situation because the dilemma is powerlessness. The action figure doesn't know what life has in store for it. Yeah. And things happen where resistance is futile, and you, after a while, you just learn how to fit yourself around things instead of trying to fit things around you all day. Yeah, this is how it goes. So I don't want to do a lot of shit, but you got to do it, you know? Yeah. And yet, of course, it's never what you thought anyway, is it? Jesus Christ. It's like, oh, I know what it's going to be like. No, you don't know what it's going to be like. You don't really. You have to show up to find out. And usually it's a pleasant surprise. Sometimes it goes very beautifully. And you're like, I never expected that. Exactly. Yeah. So you got to take, the voices are going to keep playing. Yeah, but I'm serious. It doesn't have the ability to up its own volume. It's us. It's the interest and attention that gives it volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between hearing the head and listening to it. Listening to it is we've turned up the volume. Yeah. We're believing in the premise and all this stuff that goes along with it. Yeah. And then it's our own power that it uses to somewhat defeat us in a sense. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why when people are flipping out, you say, do service or watch Bloodline or anything. You just want to put the attention somewhere else, because many of us are in the habit of dwelling in the head. And that's the last place you want to go most of the time. Yeah. But you don't seem to have any power over it. So in admittance of that, if you look at it's not you, there'll be a loss of interest in it. And then the volume is going to decrease, or your need to try to do this and this and this to feel like you're in a moment will be cut down to just this. Yeah. And it will be shorter. And yeah. So all the space and time will shrink. And there'll be points where you'll realize you're always right where it is at all times with no requirement necessary, because you are it. Yeah. You'll have many, many moments that gets rang like a bell. Yeah. Many, many. And, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, the being convinced occurs. Yeah. Yeah. So your head won't gauge it because it doesn't want to admit a miracle. It wants to forget it in 20 minutes. It wants you to believe that it's not going to work out for you. Yeah. But if you walk through what you're going to have to do and then see that it worked better than you thought, then come back and report that. Yeah.
Well, I can report that about the doctor's visit. on Wednesday, this morning.
Well, there you go, honey.
Yeah.
See, now things are working. And then when there's a step back, it's not you that took a step back. Usually, when you start seeing the emperor with no clothes, it pulls out its fucking, prom tuxedo. It really tries to put on the whole thing. And but that's a sign that you're tickling it where it doesn't want to be felt. Yes. So let it continue. Yeah.
What
This is about
happened?
traveling lighter here in one level. Yeah. And this is like the Course of Miracles describes it. The spiritual path you're on is not trying to arrive anywhere. Yeah. You're going to express where you've never left in this little journey. That's all. We're not going to arrive anywhere. This is an expression of where we already are. That's unbelievable. It changes everything, because then everything is given a value of like what you would try to find in 11 hours of meditation. Yeah, these things like an epiphany that you would think was a big value in spiritual currency. You'll walk over a lot of diamonds all day. Yeah. Because you're the one putting out the diamond. Yeah. Yeah. You are what all the paths are looking for. Yeah. This is the essence of non-duality. It is being ourselves reality. That's a statement from the godfather of it all, Ramana Maharshi. The greatest mystery from his point of view at the time he said it was that being ourselves reality wanting to attain reality. Yeah. So let's say that's the spiritual path. Reality wanting to attain reality. Obviously, reality has to be taking itself to be something other than reality to want to attain reality, right? So that's the thing. And this is the assumption of non-duality's invitation. And so we question not reality, we question that one that believes it's not reality. Yeah. We question that and see if it's true or not. If it's not true, we may find that that which is looking for reality is the reality. And therefore, we've just backed into the statement of Ramana Maharshi. Being ourselves reality, the greatest mystery is reality wanting to attain reality. How we saw the secret of that mystery is the first aspect of reality kept being called Paul. And Paul had a seeming reality of its own that sure didn't seem to be the reality we wanted to arrive at, and therefore we were looking for. Yet the reality of Paul is not real. It's an appearance. It's a dreaming. Yeah. That which is underlying it is reality. And so how we realize the greatest mystery is to live through it. So Paul, AKA reality, has been wanting to attain reality. He finally hears that this is the greatest mystery because he's reality. Finally, yeah. He doesn't hear it as Paul. He hears it as an echo of a state that's never not been there. Yeah. And now the interest and attention, the inquiry is not Paul inquiring who is something, it's inquiring about that Paul. Yeah. And then what happens? You lose interest in Paul and you gain interest in reality. And it seems like you are reality. Yeah. And therefore, the wanting to attain it drops like a fucking lead weight. It's absurd. It's sort of like me being presented with Oriental rugs when I didn't have a house or a floor to put them on. And I was traveling around the world. It made no sense. Why would I want a rug? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is what it will be like. The whole presentation that we've taken so seriously for so long will see absurd from what we are. It will reach a beyond level of absurdity. It will. You'll be laughing your balls off, or your lack of balls off. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened was the doctor said, are you the kind of person that will say good things about the doctor? And then he gave an example of a patient that he brought her some orange juice, and the next thing he knew, she was saying he was the worst doctor in the world and pouring the orange juice on him. And I said, yeah, I've been that way with people, doctors and things. And then when I said to him at the end of the conversation how much I appreciated him, I could see both of us thinking about that example. And I spent like half an hour with Alan going over the same scenario. And what I was looking for was reality. And so it was like a muscle. I had to drop that past and regurgitating it over and over again. Oh, I wish it had been different. Oh, I wish I hadn't gone with that. The course says, see your brother sinless and all this. So I know exactly what you're saying. And it was an experience that I had today, exactly what you're saying, that I knew what I was looking for was reality, and I was reality, and all of that was just trying to find reality, going back and trying to hash it out and all of that.
Exactly. So then just walk to the door, sit there, have your little interview. Yeah. Yeah. Let go of the results. Go on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paul. Really, really. I listened to the May 13th one, and it's just, I wanted to send it to the doctor because it looks like I'm going to be working with him. So I just don't know when it's appropriate.
Yeah, I wouldn't maybe not do that right now.
Okay.
I don't want it to lead you being committed or anything somewhere.
Oh, no.
Jokingly. Yeah.
But I wanted to tell him, that I'm not managerial quality. And I was like, no, I don't think that's appropriate to say that just yet.
Yeah, I would keep a lot to yourself right now and then see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Paul. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Esther. I'm happy to see you happy or a little light. Yes, it's good.
The not being in the moment is just the perfect teaching right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Why don't waste any time trying to get that which thinks it can be out of the moment into the moment. Let it stay out of the moment.
Yeah.
It's like the whole house to yourself. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you imagine living life based on that belief that you could be out of a moment? That blows my mind. What a robbery that is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When you were a kid, did you ever have a natural feeling that you were out of the moment ever? No, you never did. Yeah. No one was trying to get into the moment when I was a kid. I wasn't going home and asking my mother, does Wayne play better than I do? None of that. There was just givens, this absurdity hadn't set off as much. Yeah. Then this whole idea, I can be out of the moment. And somehow the connotation would be bad. I'm out of the moment. Another fucking, Catholicism's a trip because you have an original sin that you don't remember ever committing. And it's a mortal variety, which means you're fucked no matter what. And that's before the race even starts. And you don't even remember. I don't remember committing this original sin. Oh, yeah, you tattooed it on. Wait a minute. I have no memory of it. Yeah. And so basically you're bad and then you try to be good as you can, but you're always going to be bad. So why just fuck it? I'm going to be bad. Yeah. So here, you're sitting here, I could be out of the moment right now. Who's going to judge this fucking crazy thing playing God? It plays God and says, you're out of the moment. Yeah. Now do these 30 breathing exercises and whatever. Okay. You're getting close. It's like when you're a kid, they'd play that game hot and cold. You're getting close. Oh no, you fucked up. It's cold again. You're out of the moment again. What? How did wait a minute. You just told me I was in the moment. Nothing's really changed. No, you're out of the moment. Fuck. It's insane, eh? Why don't you have some of this shit put to rest? Because when there's a possibility, it could be another way. It just riffs like crazy. Yes? You gotta, in a way, you gotta take the dualistic ball away from the mental state because it just goes fucking off. Yeah. If there's an in and an out, it just has a field day of judging your condition with absolutely no kind of fucking clear requirements, just off the top of its head. Oh yeah, you're really out of the moment. It's the worst thing is after you pay $2,000 to be at a retreat and it's telling you you're out of the moment. Wait a minute, this is a very valuable moment. I paid for this. You're out of the moment. Then you go see the teacher in the morning and you believe him and you have a little hope, but 5 minutes later, that which is playing God's got you out of the moment again. Oh, you're out of the moment. Fucking just give up. This is faith, a power, a force. Yeah. And it's without knowing it, we've given it all this power, which is us, to play on us with. Yes. I mean, people are wrecks, they're riddled with anxiety all day. They're like getting electrocuted, like, they talk about microdosing. They've been getting microdosed with electrocution for years. They're thinking like microdosing on LSD is going to take that away. They've been microdosed all from years. Their head has been dropping. I mean, we're a wreck. The nervous system is fucking on fire and there's no apparent threat. I mean, well, shit. This faith in the head. Yeah. The head's not going to move it anywhere else. It may move it in the head. It's not going to move it anywhere else. There's just an admittance of a truth, and then something migrates. And then the faith will be put in something that's reliable, yeah, which is your inherent nature. Yeah. And it's going to bubble up and have effects on you as an action figure. It is, because you're bathing in this whole event. Yeah. And let's say if you're in a fucking cold tub, it's going to be different than when you're in a warm tub. Yeah. Because you're going to be in a tub. So here you are now. You have a feeling that you're taken care of. Yeah. And that assurance allows you to face up to a lot of shit you don't want to face up to because you're afraid you're outmatched. But now admitting you're outmatched is the opening. Yeah. When you admit you're powerless, you don't experience powerlessness. You experience powerlessness when you're exerting power you don't have. That's when you experience it. You don't experience powerlessness when you admit it. You're filled with power. Yeah. The head doesn't think that way. That's why it's the head. But that's how things actually go. Yeah. A lot of things in spirituality are taking like an order. If you see it as an expression of a condition that you arrive at or are placed in through no effort and thought on your part, it won't be like another fucking thing to try to avoid or to have it be used to beat you up for another failure. You could not complete the spiritual order. They're not orders. Yeah. This is an invitation. It's very disarming. Yeah. When someone wants to use it to make it a call to arms and I'm around, I'll try to point it out to them. This is disarming. Yeah. The liberation is from the need to be liberated. You see that which needs to be liberated, that which needs to be in the moment, which is not you. So the being in the moment isn't that which believes it's out of the moment's success. It's recognizing you're not that which believes it's out of the moment. And then the obviousness of always being in the moment becomes obvious. Yeah, that's how it goes. You see, you're not that which believes something else instead of trying to convince it to believe something else other than that. You lose interest in it. It's not you. Let it stay out of the moment. It's fantastic. I'd rather have it out there because I'm seeing it. Yeah. It's like being out of the house. It's fantastic. So, yeah, this message is, I don't know what life has in store for your life. I don't. Maybe you'll go ahead and write books and help other people, thousands. Maybe you'll, fix heels on your shoes. Who knows? But I'll tell you, whatever you're doing is going to be an expression of what you are. Yeah. This is a path of expression, not a path of arriving. Yeah. And the spiritual path is where I'm living in Novato, California. Yeah. Yeah. I have had an incredible day on the spiritual path today. Incredible. Yeah. Everything I met was more important than me. Wow. That was fantastic. Yeah. Little birds, fucking this, fucking that. Yeah. So happy to see you, Esther, and anyone else, Mike?
Yeah, Mike G and then John.
Mike G?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Hey, man. Can you hear
Mike.
me? Am I on?
Yes, you are.
What's up, dude? I'm just curious for a seeming dude that's been like stabilized for many years now, maybe. Does your head still play the future and past game, and it's just obviously
No, not that much. That one has dropped precipitously.
Did it still go on after stabilization for a while and then kind of like slowly meter out?
It goes on, but it becomes more of a comedy material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it happen?
Hmm?
Does it still happen now and again? I mean,
not now, so no, I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
If it's not happening now, it's not like it's happening now and then.
Right.
Yeah. But when it does, I mean, the past of the action figure is a great field of humor. I mean, yeah, that's how I connect with people in recovery, is by telling a story of what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. Yeah. Do I believe in all that? No, but I believe in contact with others and shit like that. So the greatest storytellers probably realized they're a story to begin with. Yeah. So yeah, I find a lot of humor getting run over by a car twice right now. I do. I mean, I think it's funny. I do, because it was a cold, freezing night. I had already been to that place I was imagining had blown up into a big party. And I had evidence an hour before that there was only two people there, the waitress and the bartender. It was Sunday night, January 30th. No one the fuck was out on the streets. And I decided, after leaving my sister's house, because my head said a huge party had erupted at this bar, drove back to that bar, never made it across the street, and got run over not once, but twice by the same car. a big Chevy Monte Carlo also. Yeah. Why couldn't it have been a Bug or something like that? Volkswagen. No, it had to be a fucking giant Chevy Monte Carlo. And so, and then just the insane shit that happened in an extreme loneliness, being in a hospital bed for 10 months, yeah. And it wasn't a double bed, it was me. It wasn't a double, it wasn't a queen or a king size, it was a single size bed. And yeah, things happened that, what happens if you get broke and it keeps on breaking? Haven't you ever had a position where you're broken down? Yeah. I mean, it's something took you to a place you've never been, and then you're broke. What happens if there's broke after broke after broke? That you go deeper than you could have imagined you could have ever gone. And it's not voluntarily. You're powerless, and there's consciousness, and you're conscious of what's going on. And it's not a joy to behold, yes? And you get into, when that becomes a past tense, it can become an incredible gold mine of humor. And what's the greatest healing is laughter, yeah? And you'll be healing yourself by the laughing of those situations, because I did enough crying, and when I was in there, I did, yeah. I mean, I could not believe, being a young punk, 28 years old, with a huge chip on my shoulder and a huge sense of entitlement, I never could imagine the suffering and where I went. Just blew my fucking mind. Oh, more than like hundreds of times. I could not believe how many times can I be broken? It just was like, it was relentless. Yeah. So that's become a huge wealth of humor. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the beauty of alchemy. You can take whatever your life seemingly was and have it turn into something else that can prove valuable to yourself and others. Yeah. This is the alchemy, the non-dual alchemy. Yeah. Yes. So, no, I don't have past and future don't seem to have much oomph around anymore at the moment. Yeah. But the narration continues. There may be a lot of gaps where it's not writing anything down, but it still puts a number on the page. Yes. Yeah.
That was it. I think that was more specific to my question. The narration still continues.
Well, yes, it does. And again, it's like, remember the Daily Show and the Colbert Show? So they took the news and they made it satirical. And actually people got more news out of that show than they did out of news shows. Yeah. Well, this is, to me, truly. So yeah, I feel like whatever's around, something's going to use it. And I feel everything has value. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, the narration continues. Why wouldn't it? It's part of the show. Yeah. Does the movie keep playing?
It's mechanical.
Yeah, so the movie keeps playing, so the audio's still on. You're the narrator of the movie. Yeah. If the movie continues, there's a narration, the head. It's mechanical. It's audio and visual. Yeah. You're seeing the visual and you're thinking the audio should stop, but it's usually goes hand in hand.
It's sense around too, isn't it?
What?
Right? It's like sense around also.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
you're a high end.
still all the same feelings and all that just continues.
Well, I would say you're going to feel a whole lot more than you ever felt, like it or not. because your head has numbed a lot of shit down. It has. You're going to feel a lot. You're going to feel different every second. Yeah. You're not going to have a solid rock as an image to stand on. You're going to see that it's like moving sand. You're going to feel a lot, a whole lot. Yeah. I feel like a huge amount all day, every second. Shit's happening. I usually, when I'm on an airplane and I look at people and I go, are these people feeling what I'm feeling? Because they sort of fall asleep in a second or whatever. I'm just fucking on. It's like flame on, man. It's wild. Yeah. So, but that's, I don't know. I don't think there's any formatted way it goes. A lot of things tell me why it wasn't this way. So obviously there was a gatekeeper, the head, that was really defusing you from the conscious contact of living. It was really, it has been feeding you a very biased interpretation, and it's numbed down or overrode or didn't even pay attention to tons of feelings than other things that have come through. Yeah. Yeah. That's, so if I wanted to escape my feelings, and it's funny as hell. I'm feeling more now than I ever felt. Thank God there's not the feeler. That's the important point. Yeah. 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 Mm. The feeler is a misinterpretation of feeling. Yeah. And then after a while, the feeling isn't even triggering any meaning. The feeling is like paralyzed and is given a meaning by the feeler. Yeah. And you're so out to lunch, a lot of us, we think excitement is anxiety and shit like that, you know? Do you really feel excited much anymore? Your head probably tells you it's anxiety. Remember when you were a kid, were you unclear about excitement and anxiety? Did you really think excitement was anxiety when you were a kid? When you were young? I don't remember that. Yeah, it was pretty obvious I was excited to go to the beach. Yeah. We've been out to lunch, haven't we? Some people really believe excitement is anxiety. They name it, the head names it, and they're anxious about going to Hawaii when they're actually excited about going to Hawaii. And then they want to talk about, quantum physics. I mean, what the hell? You want to talk about the 11 dimensions of the multiverse when you're disengaged right with what's happening now. Let's get down to the basics. Yeah. Yeah. The basic is, which comes first, the seeing or the seer? If you listen to the head, the seer does. If you notice what's happening, it's the seeing. The seeing is essential for the idea of the seer to come up. Yeah, the seer is not essential at all to have the seeing occur. Yeah. You don't have to go to rocket science. Just take a simple thing and let your head dwell on it, and it's going to leap places. Yeah. It's going to leap. It's going to jump over some of the lily pads. It's going to surprise you, because we've been locked in a closet like a marathon runner. Yeah. We've been running the same old, same old. It's wonderful when something inspires your mind to wander. like whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. These things are, they stop the mental logic, and they take the saddle off the big M mind, and the mind can gallop around. Yeah. There's so much leaping ability in the mind. There's an avalanche ability when you hear the message. Things can just, and the avalanche will take everything down with it. Yeah. You can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. It's mind-boggling. Yeah. You know how many times we've been doing just that? Thousands and thousands and thousands of times. If you could describe the activity, you could describe it perfectly by saying, yeah, the Buddha being used to look for the Buddha. Yes. Self wanting to get out of self. Yes. Mind, using mind to seek mind, using light to seek light. You know, Manny, when I heard that, you know, how many thousands of separate little events were illuminated by that? Thousands of them, thousands and thousands. The whole like telephone board, yeah, of the mind just rang. Yeah. That's shoe fit. Shoe fit. I had been wearing it thousands of times. This is what happened to me in recovery. Yeah. I finally saw what they use in AA as this addiction self as foreign. And when I saw it as foreign, the possibility of being free from it became available. And then it showed me, it panned over my whole life from 6 on to that present moment. And I could see the theme of my life has been self trying to get out of self. Paul trying to get out of Paul, when the whole point is you're not in Paul. I had never came upon that until I was introduced to non-duality. Then I came upon it, and it lit up the board of my historical life. I could see everything they were saying lived out. Yes. Whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. Go in your head. 2 minutes, you'll hear the whole theme of the head is that which can be perceived is what's perceiving. Completely contrary. They don't mix. Yeah. The message isn't going to integrate into this life we think we're in. It's going to confront this life. Yeah. It's not going to integrate it and make it assimilate it with this dualistic idea of noun and verb. It's going to confront the verb. Yeah. Thank God, by questioning the noun. Yeah. And suddenly the noun will be given up, and you'll feel you're a verb fucking finally. Yes. You're being what you are. You are not something trying to be. You're being what you are. That's different, completely different. Oh, we're going to have a meeting and we're going to learn how to integrate this message into daily life. No. Yeah. Let it do its own integration. Don't you, as the one that's being invaded, plan the invasion. Yes. No. Yeah. So this, I hope it gets across. It's a spirit. The words don't matter. I'm sloppy. I'm not a professor. I don't care about it. The words can be completely contrary. It's a feeling or a sense that's being triggered. Yeah. Hopefully. And I have faith in it because I've watched its effects. That's what we're shooting for. And we're not shooting for you to understand it. We're not. I could care less. Actually, I do care that you don't understand it. So when you say you're confused and you're not getting it, I'm like, wow, great. I'm doing a good job tonight. Well, I get it. Oh, no. You're never going to get it. That's what you get. You're never going to get it. That which you're not is never going to get it. Hallelujah. Can you imagine if it got it? It would make it something, which it does. Yeah. When it says, I got it, that claiming has already made nothing into something. Yeah. And where only nothing will do, once you turn it into something, it's not going to act like nothing. Nothing is everything in action. Leave it be. Yeah. Watch your head, trying to think it's the hearer of the message. See, you're not that. And then the hearing of the message will be unbridled. There won't be a saddle put on that horse. There won't be a bit put in that mouth. And there won't be a formalized way to get anywhere. You'll just run around like a free range something. Yes. Yet everything will be the spiritual path. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. That's what spirit can do. Spirit, if it wants to make a path, it can make it out of anything. It's when you're not spirit, then you have to enter a spiritual path. But spirit will make any path and every path the path. Yes? Don't you see it? I've learned more by doing nothing than I ever learned by studying and doing everything else. I swear to God. I have learned more sitting my ass in this seat than I ever did looking for knowledge. Yeah. People can be super clear and not clear about them being a people, a person. Yeah. I don't care about clear people. I want to be clear about people that I'm not one. Yeah. It's important. Then I can seemingly be one much freer. Yeah. That's the funny thing. Not being individual gives a license to be very individualistic. It's beautiful, yeah. It is. You can really revel in the uniqueness of our insane little activities. You can. So, yep. Anyone else, Mike?
Thank you, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, I wasn't, yeah. When we asked, when it looks like we've answered a question, we've left that question a while ago. We're just running around. Yeah.
You ready for
I'm
John?
sorry, because I go on this little rant and then the person that was asking the question goes, thank you.
Well, thank you anyways.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You ready to do that to John?
I don't do it to anyone. That's the good news. Yeah. Oh yeah. John, come on.
Hey, Paul. So hang on. I had it all formulated what I was going to say or ask, and of course. Okay, so right before I heard the message, I was all prepped to get like my spiritual hiking boots back on and stuff. I had honestly kind of already felt like all of the spiritual stuff was pointless. I was like, well, who can even become perfect through meditation or anything? It just seemed so pointless. I was getting pretty exhausted. But then what was missing was like the key that was in the lock that hadn't gotten turned was this whole, the seeker is the sought. I had even thought of the the non-self thing, and everything was like I was a self trying to become a non-self. And honestly, hearing that there was nothing I could do and I felt like there was actual hearing of it was such an enormous relief. It's been pretty wonderful. But I think something that prompted a lot. What?
I hate the word but. I really do. No.
Yeah, no, I know you do. And I hate it too.
All right.
The but here, what's happened is that great. Now I'm relieved from having to achieve some sort of like, perfection or whatever.
Yeah.
But I realized that a lot of the spiritual seeking was simply prompted by the fact that, like, I don't know, whatever. This is biography, but most of my life I've been a really lazy person, and now I've got a lot of responsibility I never thought I was going to have, like having kids and being married and loving all of it. I mean, I love being a father and I love being a husband, and it's wonderful. But it's way more responsibility than I ever thought I was going to have as a whatever action figure or a person. And I realized that a lot of the spiritual seeking was prompted by trying to find a way to like whatever, like I don't know, maybe make it all easier than it really is. So I don't know. I don't know. I think the point I'm trying to make is like I find myself being really preoccupied with those things and feeling like, like we've discussed before, and I've heard you say many times, like sometimes when your house is on fire, you need a pail of water. And so I'm just in a situation where I'm like, I feel like I need a lot of buckets of water right now.
And that's
And-
good because water is available. Yeah. And there'll be times when you don't need any water. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, and there are times when I've like, I mean, long stretches of time, longer than I've ever experienced before, where things are just going really good. And yeah, but then I guess that's it. It's
Just have it's like seeing blue is blue and red is red. When there's a need for a pail of water, it's nice to reach for the pail of water, not a philosophical book. Yeah. It just will work better. Yeah.
it's yeah. I mean, honestly, this my vast collection of spiritual tomes have been untouched for weeks. It's
There you go. Right. They're probably
good.
doing the best thing they have ever done for you, not being open.
I mean, I'm tempted to put them in a little free library, but I honestly feel like, why subject someone else to them?
Because a lot of people like to read and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But I understand, yes. I just feel like, if, let's say, the keen interest I had in things was I wanted to use them to escape, really, basically. Yes?
Yeah.
And when I realized the great wisdom of no escape, I lost interest in those things because I really wasn't interested in them. I was interested in the hope that they would allow me to escape, get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had tried a lot of things. So usually if you try narcotics and this and that, you're probably going to become a spiritual practitioner because they fail and then you just move to the next thing, and then so that irritability, restlessness, and discontent being based on how I was predisposed, overwhelmingly mental, yeah, covered up the possibility of an ease in comfort. So I was looking with agitation to get peace. Yes.
Right.
When the peace became obvious and I had an ease and comfort, I lost interest in a lot of these pursuits, and I feel I'm not unusual in that. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times what people are into is because they're into being out of something. Yeah, and if you get an answer to that, if you have a satisfaction and a contentment, I don't think you're going to be looking for that much. Yeah, that's my feeling. Yeah, because it happened with me, and I was very earnest, and I dedicated time and effort for those things. Once it became clear, I haven't dedicated any time or effort since. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
and I can only speak from the school I'm coming from. So the school I'm coming from is sort of like the negation of this idea of the one that needs to be liberated, which is the being liberated from the need to be liberated. That's sort of the school. Yeah. So once certain things fall off the cliff, your drive to see what's on the other side of the cliff, you just lose it. Yeah. And now, then you're really, the seat assignment that you're in is fully engaging. You have wife, kids and shit like that. And to me, that's the spiritual path, because whatever path the spirit is on is a spiritual path. That's what I've noticed in this life. I notice a lot over time, everything has had value, everything. Yeah. I wasn't chanting everything has value. I've observed it. Everything has value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. It's just been I've observed it over and over and over again. If there's can be and the head wants to give value before it finds out if there's any value. Yeah. It
Mhm.
wants to make it a debit before it, out of fear that it won't be a credit or something. So when that gets lost of interest, you find out a lot of stuff. And what I found out in this experience, everything seems to have value. Yeah. It always is put to a good use. And that's the dreaming oneself out of the dreaming. And as you do, the dream gets happier. Yeah. What are we? We're in the dream of yes and no, good and bad, chilled out, very anxious, all this, a dualistic event where if this happens, that's going to occur. Yeah. You can't escape. In this currency, the coin, no matter how many times you cut it, is still going to be two-sided. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. So on the experience level, there's things that seem to be uncomfortable and sometimes things that are very comfortable. And this is how it goes. Yeah. So the art isn't to try to stay comfortable all the time. The art is to travel lighter through comfort and discomfort. Yes. You know what I mean? Don't
I
own one and you won't be owned by the other. So you just start traveling lighter. I don't see this as, this is an art that's not established. It comes through the painting. The art of the painting is the painting. Yeah. And then you see through the painting, through observation, you see a wonderful activity going on, not only in you, in others. And there's a joy to behold from that. And I've watched it on these Zooms. I've seen people with very tight faces loosen up. It's been awesome. Yeah, where their facial structure changed. It was so cool. Yeah. And I know I've been under the influence of disarmament. I have.
Yeah.
And I know how some people are the perfect customers for disarmament. And they usually don't think so. And I love it when it dawns on them. They get the effect that they thought all the effort was going to produce. They get it by losing interest in the effort. What? You're onto something. That's an incredible revelation. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've always been like, I've had these periods where I did intense meditation. It made me feel so good. And then it's like, I don't want to wake up another hour early to meditate. I gotta sleep, man. I gotta work.
Yes.
And it's like, damn, it's like I lost a lot of sleep when I had kids. This is great.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
feel as
well,
good. I feel as good as I did at any point where I was intensely meditating. It's awesome.
I know. I'm happy you're enjoying it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am. On a totally different note, I just wanted to share something with you because I don't know why it seems appropriate, but I know you love bees. I've heard this in talks that you've given.
Yes.
So oddly enough, my profession is pest control or whatever, the action figure job. But I love bugs. I do love them. And
Yeah.
so I try my very best to only kill the ones that like seriously harm people if I can,
Yeah.
But regardless, so at my house, there was a bee on my back porch. Now it's a solitary bee, not like one of the hive bees, it's a solitary bee. And there's this little hole that was drilled in the frame above my back door. And she had made a nest in there.
Mm.
And I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. I was watching her do her thing. She was looking for other holes all along the porch because that's what she does. She finds a little hole, puts some pollen in it, lays an egg on top. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm gonna get to watch the whole life cycle, watch that little bee emerge. But then I realized going in and out of the back door that Mama was eventually going to sting somebody because she was not happy about me going in and out.
Yeah.
So, the old saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I'm like, oh man, I tell I'm like, I don't want to kill this bee, but I go tell my wife, and she says, well, why don't you just put some tape over the hole? And I did. I put tape over the hole, and she couldn't get back to the pollen or where she hadn't laid her egg yet. So she just went off and did her thing somewhere else.
There's always, yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I just thought it was beautiful. I just thought it was worth sharing.
Yes. Yeah. Because the head rushes into it's either let her be there or kill her. And then
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. I know. Well, I could watch movies on bees. Bees are trippy, They really
They're
are.
amazing.
They are. Without
Ants are
knowing.
cool too.
Huh? Yeah. All right. Thanks, bro. It's a pleasure to know you, John. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, John, and for including the bugs instead of just the bees, because that's the thing out here too.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Anyone else, Mike, or we'll start saying goodbye? Yeah.
No other hands.
All right, good. I'm sorry, I get dark. I gotta put I'm like Alan. I'm
Oh, I love
Fade-
the light dappling you had earlier.
I'm fading out in the void. Well, I'm in the living room, so I didn't. Obviously, the sun's going down, so whatever. I'll next time I'll have the light on.
You're luminescent.
Oh, good. Yes, I'm coming out of the void only for this hour. Yes, like the bee. I have my little hole.
Good.
All right, so
She doesn't actually live in it.
what?
She doesn't actually live in it. She just lays her egg in it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know where she just lives outside, which
Yeah.
is I don't know. Sorry. I don't
What are
get me
the big
started.
black bees? Are they called barn bees?
Oh man, there's so many different kinds. It's like you probably have bees out in California that I don't know about.
Actually, I just heard the term solitary bees for the first time out here just a few days ago, as opposed to the hive bees. So that was
There's
new for me.
solitary bees, and then there's some solitary bees are gregarious, so they'll all nest real close together, but they don't actually share a hive together.
Oh,
Cool. I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah.
well,
And I think there's
gregarious bee.
I think there's carpenter bees too that actually drill a hole in wood,
Oh
right?
my God,
Yes,
you won't
there are.
believe the size of the holes that they can. I was like creeped out by this. It's
Wow.
like Jurassic Park out here. Some of the bugs that are out here.
Yeah, it looks
was like
like,
a hole
they drill
this
a hole.
big.
Yeah. Yep.
I sent them to your house, Michael.
This is in
That's one of
Coxsackie
the-
where we stay with a
That's
friend.
one of the
Bert's not here,
CDs. That's one of the CDs I have.
so.
I can
Well, I'm
control
glad it wasn't at this house. It was at the other house. So
I'm gonna
Creepy,
send a
creepy.
whole swarm of bees. Drill holes. All right. Nice to see you, Mike. Yeah. And Zoe, as always, Arkansas. Nice to see you, honey. You should try to come up to Pennsylvania. That's not that far, is it?
Yeah, let me see when that is. When are you going to be in Pennsylvania?
Hey, on the 12th of June.
Oh,
Yeah.
But aren't you in
okay.
Iowa? Where are you?
No, I'm gonna be in Pennsylvania,
Oh, Zoe, I thought she was in Iowa.
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
Still, that's like
Still, that's just like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yeah, check it out. All right. Terry, nice to see you as always. You're going to Greece soon, eh? June?
June 16, my youngest daughter's getting married. On the
Okay.
island of Crete. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Great. All right. David, as always, down under. Yeah. Nice to see you. Mr. Churchman, he's down in Delaware. Delaware is not far from Pennsylvania. I'm telling you.
Right next door to each other.
Right, I don't want to hear any excuses. I know those lazy boys can move. So, yeah. All right, we got William S. Nice to see you, my friend, William. Dennis W. Marty. Brian from Minneapolis. Good, Brian. Nice to see you again. Thanks for dropping in. Anu. I got some very bad news, Anu. You're not going to be able to come to Sicily. I want a written reason why. Yeah.
I'll come by and tell you in person, Paul.
All right. Good, honey.
Thanks.
Kenneth, as always, nice to see you, Kenneth. Thank you for what you did.
You're
Yes,
welcome, Paul.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yep. Kathleen, there she is. Gary C., my man in Placerville. Esther. Sherry, San Diego. Sherry's going to be there in Sicily. That's going to be so nice. I mean, yeah, it should be nice.
Yes, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paul. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you. Yeah. Johannes, as always, our friend from Germany. James. Oh, James, I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you, James. All is well. James J. Yeah. You can't hear me, I don't think. Giselle, Las Vegas. Craig May. Hey, Craig, how are you? All's well? All right, good to see you, man. Alan, I'm going to finally meet Alan live, hopefully in Sicily. Be cool. Mike G, down in LA. Let me see, number 2. We've got Alexander. Nice to see you, Alexander. Mia, as always, San Diego. Yours getting dark too. I think I'm disappeared now. Susanna W. Yes, I have plans for Susanna. She'll be in Sicily too. I know Susanna so well. Yes. Yeah. All right. Maria, nice to see you. Laurie, Grateful Dave. Hey, thanks everyone. Had a real pleasure tonight. Thanks for holding the space. And we'll see each other again soon. Everything's on. I think, Mike, did you put up the stuff in East Coast yet?
Yes,
If not, it'll be up soon.
I did.
And next Saturday this Saturday, we're having it at Marin City. And then the 27th, we'll be having the Zoom, but we'll have a live one in Auburn, a couple hours north of here. So, all right. I hope I confused you with that announcement. So this Saturday, it's in Marin City and the Zoom is always on. And then Saturday, the 27th is going to be in Auburn, California. Same time. All right. Thanks. See you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.